Well, hello again. Welcome back. We're going to talk today about the difference between a hub drive and a mid drive. And I'm going to take a cue from Richard Rip One Outdoors and tell you, cue the intro. I like that. Well, good afternoon, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to turn around and go see what's laying up there. Can't quite tell what that is. What I thought we would talk about today a little bit is the difference between, well, it looks like some trash is all, a mid-drive and a hub drive. It looks like it's upside down. Something or another. Well, I don't reckon they were pulling their dresser around and they crashed. I seen them wheels. I saw the wheels sitting there, stuck up in the air, and I thought, I wonder what happened there. If that wasn't somebody laying there and it's a dresser, so somebody's dumped that out there. Oh my, oh my. You know, there's a landfill not too far from here. Anyway, let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing today. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference between a mid-drive and a hub drive. And first off, let me show you the difference here. Is the bike that I'm riding right now is a mid-drive, and the motor comes in down here, and what it does is it helps turn the sprocket, no different than your legs would do. Now a hub drive, the motor's going to be back here, and it's going to turn the wheel. And so you're turning from two different places there, and it does have different characteristics about it as you're doing that with a hub drive. And my other bike is a hub drive, and I like riding it. It's a lot of fun to ride. You can just kind of zip around on it. You can be in any gear you choose to be in. And you know, if you're in pedal assist, whatever, it's going to go to that speed the pedal assist goes to, and your gear selection is going to tell you how hard you're pedaling to get up to that. Is one way of putting that. On a mid-drive like this one here, like I'm pedaling along here, and this is really about ready to cut out on me at pedal assist 2. There's 1 through 9 here, and I'm going to gear up. It's going at about 7 miles per hour, and it's really only drawing 20 some watts. But I'm going to run it up into 3rd gear. Now all of a sudden it's going to bring me up to 8 miles an hour, or at 4th gear. Now I'm going to bump it up to 5th gear, and it's going to run me up to 9 miles an hour. And that's still on pedal assist 2. And so there's going to be a little bit of differences there. Of course, the downside of that is you got to use your gears, you know, to be pretty effective with it. Well, to me, that's not really a downside, because that's just kind of second nature. That's just kind of second nature for me. I come from a background of racing off-road motorcycles, and a long time ago. But surprisingly, a lot of those things never left, as far as, you know, covering your brakes and being in the correct gear. Even when I'm on my hub drive bike, I shift gears quite often. That's why I like my shifter over here close. And you'll see some folks, they'll have their shifter way over here because they're not shifting a whole lot, and that's okay. I just happen to like to select the gear. You know, I was kind of inclined to say be in the right gear. Well, that would imply that other folks are in the wrong gear, and they're not. But I just like to select the gear that I choose to be in, you know. And so I keep it over here kind of close, whether it's a hub drive or a mid drive. Now you'll get some controversy, you know. It seems like, I don't know, this internet where people are not facing people as much as they used to. It seems like people become more argumentative. Like all of a sudden they become tougher on the internet. If they're not facing somebody, you know, standing there eye to eye with somebody. And so
4.00 miles.
People get some strong opinions. Let's turn that.
11.1 miles per hour.
Turn that sound down on this. There we go. We don't need that interrupting us. And so, you know, your hub drive folks will say, well, if your chain breaks on your mid-drive bike, you're messed up. You're never going to make it back. You can't ride anymore. Well, you know, you can carry a Masterlink with you and fix it right there on the trail. It's not that hard to do. You can even have a whole new chain with you if you wanted. It's really not that hard to do. Versus, you know, the hub drive folks will tell people, well, yeah, but if you get a flat tire on your mid-drive or on your hub drive bike, you can't change it out on the trail. Well, sure you can. You can pull that tube out and patch it right there on the side of the trail without ever touching, without even loosening the back tire. Most of the time, all you got to do is find out where it's at, pop that part of the tube out, patch it. Hello, puppy. Hello, puppy. Hey, you know you're not coming out because you got your fence all around you. That's a good boy, huh? You know, so neither one of those two arguments hold any real true weight. I'm going to say the biggest differences between the two of them is going to boil down to personal differences, what you want. You know, like I said, I have both of them, and I enjoy riding both of them. This is my go-to. This is the one I ride a lot more than the other. But I'm very comfortable with shifting the gears, and basically what you would want to do on this, we're getting ready to come up a little hill here, and if I were to stop right you know, as I just talked about stopping, I geared this thing down to third gear because I'm going to turn off my pedal assist completely here, and this is what gear I would want to be in to start out, just pedaling up this hill. You know, the first two gears are for climbing up some pretty steep hills. So about third gear is a lower, you know, about as low as I would want to put it. And if I have the power turned on, I would still want to be in third gear right there. So, but that just kind of comes natural to me. That's just the way I do it. And if I was on my hub drive and I stopped to do that same thing, I would be down in first gear on that bike. It's a 7-speed, not a 10-speed, and it was built to be an electric bike from the get-go, so it's not going to climb real well on its own. Papa Blue Shirt, he'll know that because he's run out of juice on the same bike a few times, and they're not great for pedaling without the power. But that's because they were built to have the power. You know, it was purposely built. This was actually not built to be an e-bike. We converted it into an e-bike. So, but that's going to be your biggest differences on them. I thought I turned that all the way down, but it's still dinging a little bit to me. Oh well. With the hub drive, you know, you can kind of just start out and you're turning your wheel. You know, if you hit your throttle on it, on the hub drive, you're just going to turn your back wheel, and it doesn't matter what gear you're in. On this one right here, on the mid drive, if you use the throttle, which if you notice, my throttle is actually backwards from what it should be, or what it typically is. You know, most places, even the thumb throttle, they go down on it. The twist throttle, you twist back this way. Well, the only time I use this throttle is if I'm stopped and for some reason I don't want to just pedal up. I don't want to switch my pedals around. Well, I'll just hit the throttle and I'm coming up. When I do that, you know, you can see the camera lifted up because I was standing in front of the saddle, and as I started to light out, I stood up. And so when I stand up, I'm coming up And so that's what I do with the throttle right there, is come up with it. So that's why I have it turned the way that it is. It was turned the same way when it was over on this side here. We moved it back over when we shifted these brake levers around a little bit. Well, there I went down a rabbit hole again. You know, my daughter's always telling me, Dad, you know, if I got inside your head, I think the thoughts would look like bumper cars crashing into each other, because you got so many things in your brain going off at one time. So, but anyway, when you throttle with the hub drive motor, you know, you're just going to turn that back wheel and go. When you throttle or use the pedal assist with the mid drive, basically it's operating the same as your leg. So if you wouldn't want to do it without the pedal assist or without the throttle, well, your motor probably doesn't want to be doing it either, because whatever's harder on your legs, that's harder on the motor as well. So you just want to keep that in mind. And if that's not, you know, not a big deal to you, I think the mid drive to me is a better way to go. But if that's something for you, then I think the hub drive is going to be the way to go. But that's a totally personal decision. So I think that's going to do it for this one. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. And so until the next time, I'll tell you, Internet, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels turning. Once again, we're out.